games.
Oh, yeah. After that 45-minute intro we just did.
My desk is less stable now.
I was going to say, your camera just like did a 360.
Yeah, it's definitely. I'm using different legs than what I had in the old office, and these are not as stable.
So I've got a couple that relate to games. One of them is, one of the games during the Game Awards was a cat game. It's called Catly, I think. Catly. Yeah,
Catly. So full disclosure, I did not watch Game Awards.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm not. You can spoil it, obviously, because we're gonna talk about it. That's fine. What I'm saying is, like, if you bring up a game, I did not see it. So
did you see some of them?
I saw the last like 25, maybe 30 minutes of the Game Awards.
So you saw the Naughty Dog one?
Yeah, I think that's the only one I saw, actually.
Really?
So one of the games is called Catly. It's just like, it's a new cat game. And I thought it looked amazing. Looked fantastic. It's not like my kind of game. It's kind of like Stray. It's something like that, but not, the gameplay is not the same. But there's apparently a lot of backlash because it looks like it's going to be an AI generated game.
Oh,
like everything's going to be AI generated. So the topic that I was going to talk about was going to be, do you think that AI generated games are going to be viable either now or in the future?
The newest version of the gaming, we'll just say like Unreal or Unity or any like Visual Studio, like any of these things that game makers use. Part of it is they can use AI generated code. However, the best and the most efficient way to use AI generated code is to like either have them initially generate it and then you tweak it and like you adjust it, because I mean, AI, as smart as it is not as smart as like a person doing it. So for instance, like, I mean, I use like ChatGPT for like coding different things at home, and it can forget something we did 2 or 3 steps ago. And like, if you're just publishing, or if you're just generating and then publishing game code, like, you're going to have bugs. If you're not checking it, you're going to have issues. So I do think it's a good thing for people to use in terms of like assisting with their job. I don't think games should be AI generated. I think that's bad. I think it's bad for the industry, and I think it's bad for the players, because I mean, your support and your turnaround is going to be like, in terms of like fixing bugs and stuff like that, is just going to be longer, because you have people that just typed in a prompt, got code, published it, and they don't know how it works. They don't know how it works. They don't know what it's going to take to fix certain issues. And like, AI can only do so much. Like, you can paste a 10,000 word script into it, or code with C# or whatever you're using to code your game, and like, yeah, I can read it and maybe able to tell you how to fix a couple things, but it will not. It is not a one thing like fits all. Yeah, I think fully AI generated stuff for like public consumption is bad. That goes for like movies, TV shows, games. The problem with, sorry, I'm going on a tangent here. The problem with it in games is the gaming, like, what's the word? Not community, but like in terms of the corporate world. I don't know. I can't think of the word, but it's already like really, it's small relatively, even though video games make more money than movies and music and TV shows combined. Like, it is a relatively small industry comparatively to like other media industries. I mean, there's like whenever I first started working at Riot, they told us like, don't burn bridges because you will likely run into someone that you've worked with. If you leave here, you will likely run into people that you've worked with before, because it's like everyone works within that industry. They tend to stay in that industry, and it's pretty tight knit.
Yeah.
So like, that being said, it's hard to get into because there's 30,000 applicants per position at a gaming company. You know, everyone wants to do it, and only a few people can. So whenever they get those jobs, they never leave. And it's just like, whenever you have AI introduced in that space, and if you dissolve positions within the gaming industry because it could have been done by AI, I think that's bad. I think, like, I hate to be the guy from South Park, you know, he took our jobs or whatever, but like, I don't think AI is a good substitution for people. And I'm pretty sure there's a statistic out there, a graph out there that shows like any company that has dissolved positions to have AI do the work, none of it has worked. I don't think any company at all has made any money from implementing AI into their products. I think the only company that has made money is NVIDIA, which they make the chips that all of these companies use for their AI. So it makes sense. Like you're watching the creators profit off of it.
I think AI is a very general term, because I feel like people just kind of throw it out like, oh, it's AI, it's bad, or it's AI, it's good. I feel like it's such a general term, because AI could be used for so many things. Like for a game like the finals, the announcer people are AI generated. Like they're not real people that are talking.
I do think that's bad, though, for the record.
Okay, that's fair.
Because I do think that like you should have actual, like, that's not like, you could hire some voice actors, like even if it's just someone you find on the street, you know, it feels like a really easy way for companies to cut corners, to not pay people to do work whenever they could have shit AI generated.
Yeah,
sorry,
I think,
go ahead.
No, you're good. I think when it comes to like any sort of art, because I think voice acting is a style of art, or sure. You know, or okay, here's an example. I actually have one pulled up. Hold on. So Call of Duty, Activision, actually, there's an event going on right now on Call of Duty. It's called Merry Mayhem event. And the still image that Call of Duty used was AI generated. And the way that you can tell is there's like this green zombie looking Santa, and he's got 6 fingers on.
I was going to ask if yeah, that's the hardest thing that's maybe not the hardest thing, but yeah, they never get fingers, toes, or mouths right.
Yeah, and it's just like, I feel like that's such an easy thing to spot. It's like, how do you, even if it's AI generated, how do you generate that image and be like, that's good, use that, but not like overlook it, not like, you know, have like this group of people be like, oh yeah, that looks good, or point out I don't understand that, but it happens a lot.
They don't care.
Yeah, I mean, they make their money no matter what. That's just an example of AI.
And I'll go on the record publicly saying this, I think Activision is one of the worst gaming companies in existence.
Shout out to you, Activision.
I don't think their devs care.
I'll tag them with this.
I don't think anyone in the entire ecosystem cares. And if they do, it does not show in any way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they have some people that care, but if you're in a hive mind of people that are just about making money, like your passion for what you do is going to be kind of overlooked. And as long as you're making them the most money, that's what they care about. So
maybe it's just the Call of Duty side of whatever that doesn't care.
Maybe.
I mean, Activision is a very big company. So
speaking of Call of Duty, this is not one of the things I wanted to talk about, but there apparently is going to be another Modern Warfare game in 2026 that they're making, which is not a surprise to anybody, but I just thought that was interesting that was announced.
They're going to redo the franchise a third time.
It's going to be a multiverse kind of type thing.
No.
But yeah, I thought that was going to be an interesting topic, just talking about AI and just get your thoughts on that.
Yeah,
because it's becoming a lot more prominent nowadays.
Yeah, and I do want to say that I don't fully, of course, support a game, even with my statement being fully created by AI. Obviously, there has to be people involved, because even people that use something as simple as ChatGPT, it always sounds horrible coming out the first time. Like, you need a person to go in there and humanize the verbiage a little bit. The way that of course, I'm not in gaming, but at marketing conferences and stuff, you hear people talking about it to where their team of 3 people cannot figure out why this website coding is not correct, and like it's crashing. Why is it doing that? They can't figure it out. They spend 4 days on it, and then they finally run it through some sort of AI system. And then it's like, okay, wait, here's what you're missing. Here's the error. So to me, it could save time that way. Of course, AI, I don't think is up to the point, 6-finger zombie. I don't think it's up to the standard yet of just generating things. I can see it going back to AI voice generation. I can see it maybe helping smaller game studios that may not have a huge budget to hire people to generate smaller voice lines for something like the finals. But I don't think it's an excuse for larger developers to do it. But if you have a smaller team of like 3 or 4 people that may not know much about audio design, but they're still trying to build a game, that could be like a cheap, easy way for them to do it. Not that I necessarily are going to agree with that, but it could save those smaller indie developers a little bit.
I mean, my problem with that is that, like, there's millions of people that want to break into the voice acting space, and all you have to do is like literally just ask someone. There's tons of people out there that will do the work for either very little money or for free just to get their name out there, right?
Yeah,
like
totally.
Hades wasn't supposed to be a big game. I don't even think a good portion of Hades 1 wasn't even voice acted. Like, it was all text prompt. And then, there's a numerous amount of, like, especially in today's age, there's a crazy amount of indie studios and indie games that blow up. And you don't need, sorry, we're not past 10 minutes yet, or so. I'm just trying not to cuss. You don't need,
we're not sponsored yet or monetized at all. So
I don't even know, like Macaulay Culkin or something. Like, you don't need like these, like some insane big name to be your voice actor
Ice Cube
in a game,
Black Ops.
Game that costs you, $10,000 to make or something, like,
wait, why is the first name Macaulay Culkin? That's the first thing you thought.
Because we watched Home Alone earlier.
Oh, there you go.
It's Christmas time, Brett.
Yeah. That's fair. I was like, where did that come from? What? Like I say, like Christopher Judge or something.
Oh yeah, fair. I didn't watch Game Awards.
I don't think he was there. I didn't see him.
No, he wasn't there.
No, he was at the last one, right? For the God of War stuff.
I think that was 2 years ago. Was that last year?
I think it was last year, because Call of Duty,
Modern Warfare 3.
He kind of trashed on
him
him
under the bus.
Yeah. Speaking of Game Awards and people who were there, Aaron Paul was there, which is kind of wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he and this voice actress kind of had a weird moment on stage. I don't know if anybody else picked up on that, but
I picked up on it. So I did see the clip of it, but it wasn't a clip pointing it out. It was a clip saying oh my God, look at these two like icons on stage together. And I was like, they seem kind of into each other. Like, I don't know.
They were like leaning into each other while they were talking. It was bizarre. It was obviously acting, because they're both married, but like, it was just weird to watch.
Because nothing ever happens with married people.
Well, I was also glad to see a game beat Fortnite as far as best ongoing game, which I heard bad thing.
What got best ongoing game?
Helldivers 2.
Helldivers 2 won a lot,
really?
Actually. Oh yeah, it won a lot of awards.
What's that player base?
I think Final Fantasy Online, it beat that, it beat Fortnite, it beat Diablo, and it beat Destiny 2, which it's kind of cool to still see Destiny in that category, because it's been in there for a while.
I'm bittersweet about it.
I know, I am too. I had so many good memories with it.
Sorry, I'm looking up player base for Helldivers.
I'm looking up the Game Awards victors, like who won.
Damn, dude, 150,000 players.
I think they had a lot of updates also or maybe like an update or two that they announced at the Game Awards.
I think that's what classifies like best ongoing game is like, you know, consistent updates and content releases. I think that's the biggest thing is content releases.
I was actually, honestly, before I get into the game of the year, I thought it was kind of crazy, actually. I thought Astrobot was kind of like a joke nominee.
Same.
And then I played it and I'm like, okay, this game is actually pretty sick.
Mm-hmm.
But it
to be fair, I do think that was a safe pick because you have what are the other nominees? I'm trying to remember here.
So the other nominees,
so like Black Myth Wukong, right? What? There's controversy with that because the devs said that they don't want women playing their games. And then
it's a wild statement.
Yeah.
So okay. So here are the games. Sorry, I'll just throw them out there. Metaphor, ReFantazio. Final Fantasy VII.
I don't know any controversy with that. Final Fantasy VII it's a remake, so people would be pissed off about that.
Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erd Tree.
DLC,
like everyone's mad about that.
Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah,
and then Balatro.
Balatro was it was like a small indie game, and if that one and like Elden Ring or something else didn't, people would freak out. So I think Astrobot is just a safe pick, other than Metaphor, which I never even heard of, to be honest.
That won a couple awards as well.
Yeah, that did. I think it's a pretty popular game series, but.
So Tyler, did you want to go down the list? I don't know, because you kind of started the topics or the new topic, and I don't want to like take over and start reading off all the stuff.
No, I can. Yeah, totally. So I was actually, you guys know more about the multiplayer and esports stuff than I do, so I'll rely on you for these opinions. But as far as best esports team, T1 won for League of Legends.
Faker, my goat.
Not a surprise. T1 is one of, if not the most popular esports team, like globally. And I think most of it has to do with League of Legends, but yeah, that's not a surprise to me.
100%.
Best esports athlete is Faker.
Oh yeah.
Again, not a surprise.
Deserve.
He has been at the top of League of Legends. To put it in
perspective, Tyler, he is the LeBron James of fucking anything esports related.
Okay, that's good to know.
Some people would say Michael Jordan, but yeah, the same.
I cannot believe he just said he's gonna get. Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Maybe you can roast me if not, but I'm pretty sure. Didn't LeBron break all of Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan's records?
He beat some of Michael Jackson's records.
LeBron's got a platinum on the way, dude.
All right,
get that shit on Spotify.
Speaking next topic, best esports game. I'm sure you guys are not already talked to Daniel about this. League of Legends.
Yeah,
not a surprise.
I'm not a actually a meat sports guy. I don't watch basketball or football or anything. So
I said it's not a surprise. That game is like 12 years old now.
It's 15 years old.
Yeah, so it's kind of nuts that it's still at the top of every game that exists that is considered an esport, and that's still at the top and still breaking records. And that is kind of crazy, but I'm honestly not surprised though.
The public release numbers is 150 million active monthly players.
That's crazy.
That is an unfathomable amount of people that have just brain rot,
that's entire continents.
So I do kind of have a gripe with League of Legends though. So there's a new system, and the reason being is because there's a new system in the game now that is entirely gacha based. There's PFT. A new skin. No, there's a new skin. It's a Jinx skin. She's actually one of the main characters from Arcane. So there's a new Jinx skin that is only attainable by opening opening chests. It's not technically chests, but you can only get it by opening a certain specific thing. And the only way to get sparks, which is what they're called, I have the link client open. They're called sparks. You have to buy them. You can't earn them.
That's how TFT is, though.
No, TFT has a so there's a free battle pass with TFT.
Yeah, but the capsules, the capsules to get the chibis or whatever for your little avatars, little what are they called? Little legends.
Mm-hmm.
The capsules to get, like, for instance, what is it? The like Dragon Slayer Lee Sin or Dragon Storm or whatever the hell, the like real cool lightning one. You had to buy capsules for that, and it's like 1 in 50 chance or whatever. But you're guaranteed to get it if you open a certain amount.
So they have a battle pass, just like every other game that exists currently, at least popular game that exists currently. And you can earn, what are they called? Treasure tokens. And those treasure tokens are used to open, I forget what they're called. I don't know. You just use 50 treasure tokens, which is what you earn every, I think it's 5 or 10 levels. And you use those to open chests. And those chests can either give you realm crystals, or they could give you mythic tokens, or they could give you what's it called? Dude, I'm saying so many things. I'm losing track of what I'm.
Yeah, I lost track.
But either way, you can buy the battle pass and essentially get it, quote unquote, for free if you open enough. Because if you open up to 80, you can earn whatever thing is that's currently in the shop. You can automatically get it, right? But with the Jinx skin, there's no battle pass. You can't use the battle pass to access it. You have to buy sparks to get the skin, and it's considered an exalted skin, which, by the way, there's another exalted skin in the game.
Is it the faker one?
No, it's a set skin. It's $250.
My goodness.
And I don't know why it exists. I don't think it's that cool of a skin. I know people are probably going to buy it, but those two things combined is kind of weird to me. Because if Riot's making as much money as I'm assuming that they're making, I don't know why they would involve a new gacha that it completely is unattainable unless you buy sparks and the $250 set skin plus the $500 Ari skin that they put into the game.
Yeah, that's faker skin.
Yeah, I don't understand any of those moves, but the new gacha thing is a little weird to me. But that's just me. Maybe it's just me.
I can tell you. And that's because people buy it.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I have no room to talk. I'm like 6K down the hole in Valorant. So
yeah, I can't comment either. I just think it's weird for a system to have this. It's the first of its kind, which I think is very, very odd. But maybe it's just a one-time thing. Who knows?
It depends how much money it makes, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel, I'll let you answer this because you didn't watch it. You said you did, right, Brett?
Yeah.
So, most anticipated game. What do you think it is, Daniel?
Can I hear the nominees?
Nope, because you'll know right away.
I'm looking right now. Hold on. Okay.
Most anticipated is probably GTA 6, right?
Yes, that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was between Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotai.
I'm so excited.
I think.
I'm also excited for that one. Woke game, dude. Woke game. Female main character.
People were saying that that game was woke. I'm like, brother, it's Grand Theft Auto 6. They don't give a shit.
Oh, I was talking about the new Ghost of Tsushima game.
Yote.
Yeah, because it's a female main character.
They bitched about that as well. Okay. I do think the 5 nominees are actually all like really, really good games. Death Stranding 2, of course. I think that's going to be a sick game. Ghost of Yote, Grand Theft Auto. I've never played these before, but Metroid Prime 4.
Yep. And then the last one.
What? I didn't know that. I didn't even know it was coming out. I'm fucking pog for that.
And then Monster Hunter Wilds.
I never got into those games, actually.
I never got into Monster Hunter. Well, that's not true. I think I have a decent amount of hours actually in Monster Hunter.
I know they're popular in a lot of countries.
I mean, you don't actually have to. I was just saying hold. I have like 13 hours in Monster Hunter World. I play with Don mainly.
Hell yeah.
So I was actually very surprised. I was somewhat surprised by the winner for best adaptation. because I know how popular the other nominee was. But for a video game adaptation, what do you think won that one?
What does it even mean? Like into a movie or into a show?
So
The show, animated show, movie.
So I'm assuming Last of Us didn't win because you said you're surprised.
Well,
right?
I think Last of Us was 2023.
That was last year.
Not this year.
Damn, that's sad. Arcane season 2.
That was a
So,
nominee,
how about,
but it was Fallout.
Yeah, Fallout 1.
Really beat out Arcane?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beat out Arcane.
I know.
I think Arcane came out too late. I genuinely think it would have won if it came out sooner.
I haven't seen
I
it
agree.
yet, sadly, but I've just heard nothing but great things about it.
Yeah, I mean I mean the team is just they're just nuts, man. Like getting that many people interested in a video game show that you don't need to like play the video game for is insane. I mean, same thing. I mean, I guess that also applies to Fallout and also applies to Last of Us because my wife likes Fallout the show and and the Last of Us shows and knows nothing about the video games. She's like asking me when season 2 of Fallout's coming out, and I'm like,
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I really did. I thought it like stuck to what the whole vibe was.
I am an avid defender of the Halo show.
I cannot.
I don't think it was that bad. I think we may have talked about this before, but like I think it's okay for like studios and I mean I guess they are a studio to create a show using a video game as an inspiration, which is what they used. That's what they did with Halo, right? They tried to do their own thing with it. I think the problem was that they did it with Halo, which has such a like devout cult following that people want nothing changed. Like if they did, for instance, Last of Us, like it may have that type of following, but if they did instead of like a 1-to-1 basically with the game, if they did their own spin, like just of someone in the Last of Us world, I think it would still have done well. And that's what they did with Fallout. Fallout was not a 1-to-1 to the movie or to the game. It's just in the Fallout world. And I think they did a really good job of it. I think like Halo probably should have went the route with Last of Us, where it's like more like canon, I guess, like on
almost a 1-for-1.
Yeah, like almost exact pace with how the game was compared to what Fallout did. Like, but I don't think Halo like was a bad show. I think it gets too much hate. I think it's like a 6 or 6.5 maybe if I'm feeling nice.
I think they probably should have not just called the show Halo. I think if they were going to go the route of the Halo series or whatever, like the Halo story, they need to call it like a Halo story or something to that effect, where it's not. So it's very apparent that it's not 1-to-1 with the game
at all.
Like if you call it, yeah. So like there are so many Star Wars shows out right now. Like there are so many. Granted, a lot of them are getting canceled. But there are so many Star Wars stories, and that not all of them have to do with just freaking the Sith or Jedis. You know, some of them have to do with people that are living in a Star Wars universe, and they're dealing with that kind of thing. And I think that's a really cool and interesting direction they can go with it. I think the Halo should have done the exact same thing. You don't call a show Halo and then don't follow any because they had a script out directly in front of them, and they decided to not only ignore it, they didn't base any of the story based off of the games at all. At least that's what the writers and the director of the show said that they did. I mean, there's no reason to think that he was wrong, because I have seen clips of the show and I don't want to watch it because it was canceled. I don't like watching canceled shows. But you don't call a show Halo and then not follow the story of Halo. Like that's just you're asking for people to shit on it.
Yeah,
that's how I
have you seen the other Halo shows and movies?
Like what?
There's a handful of let's see. Halo Landfall is a short movie based. It's kind of like a Halo 3 promo, kind of. Halo 4. This is like the one of the more popular ones. Forward Unto Dawn.
I thought that one was good, actually.
Yeah, that's a web series that was released like on YouTube. It's live action.
Was it fan made? Or is it studio?
Yeah, I think it was fan made.
There's a lot of good fan made stuff.
And then Halo Nightfall was a 5-episode series following Halo 4 and Halo 5. And then that's all live action. And then the animated stuff is Halo Legends, which I remember watching that a long time ago, back when we were in high school, actually. And then Halo the Fall of Reach, which was, I think, also fairly popular. But all of them, none of them were a 1-to-1 with Halo. They were just an adaptation of the world. I think most of them had Master Chief in it. And
did Master Chief in any of them take off his helmet?
See, I don't know, man. I also don't really hate that he did that, though. Like, I think as a story writer, it is important to humanize your character. And I think that's what they tried to do, was they tried to make him like relatable as a person. And
but I think that's like what the whole Halo series is about, is someone that's not humanized and someone that's not just a normal person. Like, he's literally a superhuman that can get any, this is going to sound so like cliche verbiage, he can get any job done.
Yeah, but he's not Doom Guy.
He's almost Doom Guy.
That's what I'm like. That's a comparison that I think is fair to make, is like Master Chief John is not Doom Guy. That is a well, he's not faceless, but you know what I mean? Like, he's just a guy in green suit, as in Doom Guy is just guy in green suit that kills everything. And that's not really like Master Chief has, like, he's shown emotion and stuff in the games and like, well, yeah, the games. And like, I think portraying that is good, and like trying to assign a human and a face to that is good. I'm not saying they went the right direction with it or anything. Like, maybe it could have, instead of him taking his helmet off, like maybe it could have got fucking blasted off or something, and that would have been more okay with the audience. But
I think there's a way to humanize a character without having them take off their helmet. I think every time a character, and it doesn't matter if it's, I've probably said this on the podcast, maybe I've said it other places. Anytime you take off a helmet, they are immediately less badass. It's true. It's true. Every single time. Doesn't matter if it's a TV show, doesn't matter if it's a movie.
You hear that, kids? Always wear helmets.
I do think, though, like, what Halo did was they were changing the original lore of the Halo universe, rather than like The Last of Us. It was a 1-for-1. Fallout, did it follow a story? But every single Fallout game was a different storyline, but the universe always stayed the same, as far as like who the bad guys were, who the good guys were, how their story originated. Like, that all stayed the same. But it seemed like Halo, they were changing like the storyline of what it was, and that's what was causing people to be really pissed off. They're like, wait, why did she say this happened in the show? But then the past 20 years of Halo existing, it was the complete opposite of what she said.
I think that was just a result of them doing zero research on the actual games and the actual lore of the show.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it was all Master Chief. That was everybody's issue. I think it was just them not understanding the lore of Halo and then just deciding to make a show. The creators even said that they never played any of the games, or I think they said they really didn't research the game at all. They just wanted to make something out of it.
They said they didn't want the game, or they didn't want the show or the actors or anything to watch or play the games, which you shake your head about. But they said the same thing to Ellie about Last of Us.
I've never played those games or seen that show, but I still listen. Okay, I'll get to it. All right. But I still
like they told her not to play. They told her not to play the games at all because they wanted her to like organically be that character instead of like having an idea of what she should be based on the game that you played. Whenever like you have writers and stuff to do that for you. So like there was like a big, I think it would like, I don't know if it went viral on TikTok or not, but I saw it. I saw a clip on Twitter about her saying like, oh, I finally get to play the game because the show's done. Like the show aired and everything.
Yeah. I don't think I don't think that's good personally. I think,
but it can work.
I mean, obviously it can work because if I don't know how popular that show is, but maybe that show is really popular. Yeah, so there you go. But so an example that could also maybe tie into that maybe a little bit is the new Snow White that they're making. The actress that plays Snow White has never seen the original, has no interest in seeing the original, and she just wants to do her own thing, and then that's it. Which I think is a huge mistake. Why would you not take notes from the original if there's already,
because it's not her job as an actor?
It's not your job to do research as an actress or actor. I completely disagree with that.
No, that's your writer's job. That's your screenwriter and that's literally what they do. They tell you how to act and you act.
Yeah, I think that's a big mistake.
Maybe if it's like an indie film.
Personally, I think that's a big mistake because if you only listen to a room full of screenwriters that have no interest in looking at something that's already been created as that character, then you're doing yourself and your fans a disservice. And so here's another example of why I think that will work. Keanu Reeves, he is playing the voice of Shadow the Hedgehog. He did so much research for that character, like so much unnecessary. He's just a voice, but he wants to get behind of why Shadow is the way that he is. I think saying that he shouldn't do that and he should just listen to the writers tell him how he should be feeling is big error.
Well, I think
that's just me.
It depends on how the director wants to do it, right? If the director wants to have like an organic acting experience where they're legitimately just acting what they are having written about the show or the movie, I think that's different than like hiring someone that like Keanu Reeves that likes to do all this super heavy research into the characters.
I can agree and disagree. Like, to me, that's why Henry Cavill left The Witcher, it seemed, because the directors were not going in the right direction of the lore. And Henry's like, we're going to piss a lot of people off if we don't research anything.
Yeah, which I think that's fine. Like, I'm generally, maybe you wouldn't think this because I rant and have a lot of negative thoughts on this podcast, but like I'm generally a pretty open guy whenever it comes to like just things in general, movies or games or whatever else. Like totally. I hardly ever dismiss anything without trying it first.
Tyler, you sounded so genuine, but also so sarcastic.
Oh no, that's why we're able to do. That's why we're able to do 17 episodes of this. Because even if we disagree, we still are completely fine after this. Because at the end of the day, we're just talking about video games. Like,
wait, so you saying I'm a liar?
No, I'm saying like like I agree. Like we made it. We made it this far because you are open. If you took everything like, oh my God, I'm right on everything, we wouldn't have gotten this far on this.
Well, I'm just saying, like, for instance, people, I'm gonna call you out, Brett. People like Brett that dismiss the Halo show without watching it. Like,
you mean that you are open to like video games?
And yeah, I'm open to all this. Like, I will literally try anything or give anything a shot.
That's what you mean by that.
To form my own opinion, because I don't want to just, fucking say something is shit because people say it is. Like, I want to form that myself. Like Borderlands, for example, we heard how bad it was.
We still paid money to go watch it.
We paid money to go watch it. We watched it. I've even watched it 2 more times.
Oh no.
And I can thoroughly say it is not good.
That part I'm confused about. Not gonna lie.
Well, because I don't know. Cause like, I get it. Kind of revisit and make sure that I'm not just following the hype.
I just don't want to invest time into stuff that the hive mind says is bad. And maybe that's ignorant. That's fine. I'd rather watch stuff that I hear is extremely good than hope that something is good and then it'd be bad because everybody's saying that it's bad.
But then you can never, then you're legitimately never forming your own opinions.
I mean, I can form an opinion. I'm an American, baby. That's what we do.
Yeah. Right, but what I'm saying is, like, if the masses say something is bad and you're like, okay, it's bad, I'm not going to put time in it. And if the masses say something is good and you're like, okay, I'm going to watch this because everyone says it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not forming your own opinion. You're just following what everyone else is doing.
So you're saying I should go see Craven?
Yeah. I am,
because I've heard the opposite.
I am,
but so
I went and seen Morbius whenever they talked about cars getting broken into and leaving movie tickets on the seats and shit. Like, I went and seen it.
Yeah, but then what's the point of looking at reviews then? Because you look at reviews all the time for games and TV shows, or buying stuff on Amazon.
Well,
too.
I don't look at. Well, that's different though, because that's something that you're putting to use. For like, if I go to buy a new blender and it's got a 1-star review because it keeps breaking, I'm not going to form my own opinion about this blender breaking. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, I don't know, because I feel like that's kind of the opposite of what you're saying that I should do.
Because that's.
I invest my time.
We're talking about opinions and then facts. If that's a shitty blender, that's a fact that it will break and it can't blend ice, right? But if I go and watch a show, like, there's no like, oh, this could be a good blender if you only use it to mix liquids. Like, why would I buy that? You know what I mean? But if I'm watching a show that everyone says is bad, or 70 or 60% people say is bad, I can be part of that 30 or 40% that are like, wait, this is actually good because of these reasons. You know, like, you can formulate like a different opinion based on like what you may like in a show or a movie. Like, if you don't care, if you don't care that, like, what movie I was going to say Borderlands, but there was a lot of things wrong with Borderlands. I'm trying to think of like something that had like bad CGI, and that's why I got like terrible. Oh, was it Black Widow, right? The movie didn't have good CGI. If you don't really care that much about the CGI, it can be a decent movie. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Kind of. Cause I don't like what they did with Taskmaster, but I see what you're saying.
Okay, well, that's fair. I was just using that.
I see what you're saying. Well, I see time as an investment, whereas some people would see money as an investment. I don't want to invest however much time it would take to watch the show when I've already heard that it's bad. Like, I would rather watch something else that I know is good.
Yeah, my thought is
shows I do kind of understand.
What the fuck else am I going to do?
Shows I understand, because that can be like 100-hour investment versus a movie that's 2 hours.
I'm just like, what else am I going to do? Play a game?
There you go.
Like, like, no matter what, it's time wasted.
There are lots of other things to do.
It's fucking 12, yeah, it's midnight. Like, what, am I just going to go to sleep? What if I'm not tired? I could watch a shitty show for an hour a night, you know?
Yeah, I suppose that's fair. So basically what we're trying to say is don't watch Halo.
Right, I'm saying watch it and form your own opinion.
Okay, next category.
Not like Starfield. That's a fact that it's a shit game.
Actually, I'm curious how Starfield's reviews look.
I don't even remember why it got such negative press to begin with. I just know why I hated it.
I think it was all the same consensus where people were like, I saw so many videos of people traveling outside of a planet and they're like, look, I'm turning around and I'm the same distance I was 30 fucking minutes ago. Like, people are getting so mad.
That's so stupid.
So as far as right now, Games Radar, which is just, I guess, just a random gaming website.
That's a pretty big one.
Gave it a 5 out of 5.
I wonder how much they got paid.
PC World gave it a 5 out of 5 and called it the best game Bethesda ever created.
Oh my god,
okay,
dude.
bro.
PC
literally
Gamer.
any other game.
That's
Would like to have a word with them.
That's their only Bethesda game they've ever played.
PC Gamer gave it a 75%.
Brother, you're
Even
people,
that's not on par.
have they played like Oblivion, which is, in my opinion, one of the best Bethesda games? Skyrim, even. Oh, so crazy. Okay.
Metacritic gave it an 83%.
Steam currently has it at a 59% out of 106,000 reviews.
Oh, interesting. And IGN gave it a 7 out of 10, but IGN is IGN, so
I think 60% is even generous, to be honest.
listen, what we're saying is go play it, form your own opinion.
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
All right.
I played it. Fucking awful game. Look at the episode in the pinned comment or something, or up the cards or something that I rant about Starfield for.
It's probably
minutes.
it's probably in the first like 3 or 4 episodes. There's
it is
something in there.
I think it's in episode 1 to 10. All right. Best VR/AR game: Arizona Sunshine Remake, Asgard's Wrath 2, Batman Arkham Shadow, Metal Hellslinger VR, and Metro Awakening. Daniel, what do you guess?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Arizona Sunshine.
What's this for?
Remake.
What's this for?
Best VR/AR.
Okay.
Arizona Sunshine Remake, Asgard's Wrath 2, Batman Arkham Shadow, Metal Hellsinger VR, and Metro Awakening.
Batman.
It was Batman, which
It's
kind of
it was good.
It was only released on the Meta 3, I believe. So the fact that it got,
3.
which I can guarantee it wasn't, I mean, maybe it was purchased by that many people. And the fact that it won is kind of crazy.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, the first Batman VR game was also very successful. So
yeah. But I think that one was on multiple platforms, I believe, whereas this one was on just one. I don't think VR is like, I feel like gaming consoles and companies wanted this to be bigger than it currently is. I don't think VR has gone anywhere in the past 4 years. Like, it seems like there's not many people talking about it unless you're in the space. If you go on YouTube and scroll through gaming, you never see, at least I don't see, one VR video on it. I don't know.
yeah, I think it's a pretty niche market.
Yeah.
That doesn't really have like a lot of funding behind it.
Yeah.
And I think like some VR is fun. There's just like so many things that go into it that make it like it's not accessible hardly at all if you have vision impairment, if you have physical disabilities, if you have, I mean, maybe you could get by if you have hearing impairment or something, but like, if you're any sort of need accessibility settings, like VR is not really equipped for you at all. The controllers themselves, I have all 5 fingers on both my hands, and it is sometimes aggravating to use for me. Like,
yeah,
I need to get like that zombie and get another finger.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's just like, I just don't think it's really, up to where the rest of the industry is.
Yeah, I hate VR personally because it makes me motion sick.
It
doesn't matter what game it is. I can't do it.
There's like, it's so weird because you have to suffer through it in order to not have that motion sickness in it. Because I do not get motion sick, but even I was like, the first couple hours I used it, I was like, I'm gonna throw up. Like, this is so bad. And then like 2 or 3 days later, using it like 30 minutes, 40 minutes a day, it was a lot better.
Speaking of throw up, Star Wars Outlaws got nominated for Best Action and Adventure Game, which blows my mind.
Never played Star Wars Outlaws.
Dude, the fact that got nominated, but Astrobot won that one. Silent Hill 2 was in there, but did you guys either of you play Silent Hill 2?
No, I did. I've watched multiple playthroughs though.
Brother, after playing it, I'm going to say something very mean. I see why that game series died when it had to go up against Resident Evil. Like, I really do.
Well, it didn't go up against Resident Evil. It's the same company.
Is it?
Yeah, they're both made by Capcom.
Well, I feel like in the early days of those games releasing, like, they were kind of similar to where they were in a way competing against each other as far as sales, but
yeah, I mean, one's psychological horror, which is your Silent Hill, right? And then you have more like kind of in your face horror game, which is Resident Evil.
Yeah. Which I don't think Silent Hill 2 is a bad game by any means, but I couldn't finish it because to me it was just like the same thing. Going into a building, finding out how to get out of it. Okay, great. You're on an alleyway. Okay, go into the next building, do the exact same thing. It got very repetitive to me. But that's just me. Games for Impact, which is a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. The one that won that is Neva, which actually that's
fucking
something
woke games. Dude. Yeah, try to change the minds of our youth. I don't know what the complaint that they have is. I guess
that would not.
Yeah, the only one that I've heard of is Life is Strange, but the other ones I have no idea.
Dude, Hellblade
Life
2
is Strange was good game.
So good. Hellblade 2, like I think she did an amazing job. The main character. If you guys haven't played that, I would recommend that.
Female main character? I'm not fucking playing that. I'm sorry.
I think 5 out of the 6 were female characters.
That's literally like a woke game award.
I know.
Like, what did you see? Like, impactful game, and it had to do with like the social. That's so funny.
Best indie game is Balatro.
Yeah, makes sense.
Let's see what other. I'm gonna like maybe just do one or two more here. Best performance. So awarded to an individual for voice over acting, motion, and or performance capture. It was the character for Hellblade 2.
Melina Huergens.
Yes.
Huergens.
That's who. Okay, let's see.
That's her.
That's the one. Best art direction. That was Metaphor that won that one. Best narrative was Metaphor. They won that one. Best game direction, Astrobot, which that to me is kind of funny because it was just like playing through puzzles.
So yeah, it's like the most linear type. It's like playing Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, literally. And then of course, Game of the Year, Astrobot, which again, we just talked about this. Like, I'm really not mad about this. Like, I understand it. I understand that decision because all age groups were able to play that. Of course, you had to have a PlayStation to play it, but a lot of people compared it to like the Mario Galaxy a little bit. People compared it to, but a PlayStation version of it. But not a bad choice overall. I was looking at the nominees this year and I'm like, that is kind of, I'm not going to sit here and say depressing. That's kind of like that. Like, that's what we had to choose from this year. Like, I liked Black Myth, but we've gotten so many kind of those games in the last couple of years that I didn't finish it because number one, I'm not good at those games, but it's like, how many times can I replay a game? Obviously they're all different. They're great. They're wonderful games, but it's like, how many times can I play this thing? And then like you said, one's a DLC. The other one's an indie game, like a card indie game. So it's like, how many people did that actually reach? So it made sense.
So just to cover the Game Awards a little bit more. So those were like the winners of each category. So I'm gonna list off, since Dan didn't watch the Game Awards. These are some of the games that are coming out either 2025 or late 2025, 2026.
Dude, they released some bangers.
Yeah, there's some good ones. So one of them is called, I'm just going to list all of them. So it's called Ninja Gaiden Ragebound.
Oh yeah,
that's a popular series. Yep.
Gaiden. Gaiden.
I've heard several people would be excited for this. Slay the Spire 2.
Ooh,
it's being released. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Dave the Diver in the Jungle is a DLC.
Oh fuck yeah.
Never played it, but I've seen people play it. It looks like an interesting game. I don't know if I would ever touch it, but
it's fun.
a game called Thick as Thieves, which is an immersive multiplayer stealth title from Deus Ex creator Warren Spector. We'll have a large group of players working to steal one objective on the map and foil each other.
It's kind of cool. Okay.
Yeah. Shadow Labyrinth is a Metroidvania approach to Pac-Man with a darker tone based on the secret level animated short, which is so weird. When it showed Pac-Man on the screen, I was like, what am I witnessing right now? Because he's like a little he's like a character on your shoulder.
You said a Metroidvania with Pac-Man.
With Pac-Man.
I'm gonna need to see gameplay. I'm gonna need to see gameplay of that one.
Yeah, you could probably watch the trailer at some point. It was bizarre. The last image was cool, but it was very weird to look at. A game called Steel Paws, which is a new mobile title from legendary Sega developer and Shenmue creator Yu Suzuki. So mobile game, yay. Kyora Pugstorm, the team behind Core Keeper, is heading up what looks to be a Terraria-like multiplayer. A game called Rematch, a multiplayer soccer game from seafood developer Slow Clap, set to drop next year. Which is it's like Rocket League meets soccer, but more so soccer.
So Rocket League?
You'd have to see it because it's like soccer, but in a giant dome. It's weird. I don't know why it's a thing, but yeah, it's definitely interesting. There's going to be The Witcher 4, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Elden Ring and Night Rain, which is going to be a co-op Elden Ring type game, which a lot of people are calling it a DLC. I think it's going to be
a separate game.
I think it's its own.
Okay, so it's a sequel to Elden Ring, so it's like Dark Souls 2 as opposed to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can play it as co-op, so you don't need mods or anything to play with.
Yeah, they probably should have just called that Elden Ring 2 if they're trying to escape this. It's a DLC boat.
Yeah. A game called Project Robot.
Yeah, that one's from the creators of Shadow of the Colossus and Eco.
Ooh,
that might be kind of cool.
Yeah. This game actually looks sick. It's called Split Fiction. It's the creators that made It Takes Two.
And yeah. Noah messaged me about that. He said, him and I have to play it. Him and I played It Takes Two together.
Yeah. So for the listeners / watchers, it's basically like It Takes Two, but it's built off of fantasy. So one of them, it could be sci-fi, so it's like in space, and another one could be like Lord of the Rings style, and it's like both characters you play as two different characters. They mesh their worlds together, and every level is different compared to each character. So one could be, I don't know, in like a grassy land, and you have to like outrun snakes or something, and the other one is in space where you have to outrun robots. Looks pretty good. Looks very fun.
And it's like, it's like each map, obviously, like you're side by side. So it looks like each map is laid out the exact same, but you have different scenarios and different. Yeah, it looked really cool.
Yep. Steel Hunters, which is the developer behind World of Tanks. It kind of looked like Titanfall a little bit. It looks cool.
Big Titanfall fan.
You'd have to look into it. I don't know how well the gameplay will be, but it looks fun. It looks really fun.
What one was that one called?
Steel Hunters.
Titanfall was good.
Is it like FPS?
I don't know, to be honest with you. It showed like a trailer of gameplay, but it didn't really show how the gameplay worked. So maybe I'm not sure. Borderlands 4.
Let's go.
Big one for
bro. Okay, let me pause for just a second.
Pause.
Did you see? Like, I will be buying Borderlands 4 because of this. I think that studio is so fucking cool, man. Like, so there was a guy who was terminally ill. Like, he is going to die within, I think within the next like 6 to 9 months or something like that. and he said that his like one of the biggest things he's sad about is that he won't get to play Borderlands 4. They brought him the game to play.
That's cool.
Which is so sick, dude. Like, that's cool. Big Borderlands fan.
I know a lot of people are going to be excited for that.
The movie was great. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
That'll hive mind on. That movie sucked.
Tekken 8 is adding Clive Rossfield, who was from
Final Fantasy 16.
That's cool.
Pretty neat. There's a game called Virtua Fighter Comeback.
Virtual Fighter, which that was a big game back in the day.
Oh, it's just called Virtua Fighter, not Virtual Fighter Comeback.
Big Tekken competitor, I believe.
Cool. Yakuza Dev enters the Project Century. It's an untitled project called Project Century, which looks to take the classic Yakuza combat with a more violent twist in 1915 Japan. I think Yakuza meets Sleeping Dogs.
Oh, that was a good game.
There's a game called Turok Origins.
They're remaking Turok.
What a yeah, dude. That's in case you didn't know, Tyler, also made by Resident Evil developers.
Capcom.
Yep.
There's no release date yet, but I would assume it's either going to be next year or early 2026. Onimusha, Way of the Sword.
A second one.
Yep. It's the second one from developers from Capcom. Surviving Onimusha with its planned 2026 release. There's no really information on that. Stage Fright. Stage Fright is the next co-op creation from Overcooked team at Ghost Town Games.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Looks like it will be focused on players from separated in different zones while needing to work together, and will have a story separating each character. So there you go. It'll also be published by No Man's Sky developer Hello Games.
Nice.
It's a new Sonic racing game.
I actually heard those are pretty good.
Oh my god,
Sonic racing.
They're good. It was so funny watching Jeff. So Jeff is the main character, the main guy, not main character. He's like the main guy on stage that was talking and announcing the games. Like, we look forward to this game, and he was getting really emotional about Sonic, and then it showed Shadow hopping into a car, and we were just like, huh? What? Okay. They're making a new Mafia game. Mafia, the old
those games are so good,
dude. I was literally, I'm not even joking. I reinstalled all of them to replay them.
They're so good.
Those are single player games I can get behind.
I think this one's like in the, like 19, like it's like just 1900. Like that's the date of it, which is it's gonna go back 10 to 15 years versus the others.
Like 1990s or
no, like I think it's like 1900 is when this one is.
Okay.
So this was Capcom. This last one from Capcom is called Akami.
Oh,
that one. That was one I meant to say. They're remaking, or no, they're making a sequel for that one.
That's big, dude.
People were hyped about that one.
Sick.
I think that was the last game they announced.
Yeah, that was the last one that Capcom announced.
Or that I thought that was the last one for the Game Awards, or at least one of the last ones, because that was like they saved
I think
it for
the Naughty Dog game was the last one.
Yeah, Intergalactic was the very last announcement that they made. To Isaac's
I did see that one.
disagreement. He didn't like that at all. But
how I don't understand, dude. How
so okay, when it comes to Isaac, he was looking forward to something from GTA 6. He was looking to something from God of War, maybe a Gears of War remake. That's why he was disappointed. I don't think it had anything to do with Intergalactic as
being
so all the shit that
is already
he enjoys.
yeah, pretty much.
I understand Grand Theft Auto. What I love about Rockstar is they're not going to release something until it's ready. I will say that about them at least. I know the online came out and it wasn't the best immediately.
Well,
but
I don't know. Like, I think it's a little silly to get upset over not getting like a sequel for something that you already like, and to think that it's like a bad game show because they show a brand new IP for the last thing. Like I think a brand new IP is sick, especially from Naughty Dog. Like Naughty Dog is like a very well respected game studio.
Yeah.
Like
Crash Bandicoot.
you should be
Uncharted,
excited.
Last
Not
of
that
Us.
it's oh, it's a brand new game. It's that it's a brand new Naughty Dog game. Like that's big.
Yeah,
I think that's the like important thing that people are. I don't know. It's like, oh, GTA 6. Like, shut the fuck up. Like,
Yeah, and
and
like-
you'll get it. It's you're not going to get to play it on PC anyways for the next year, even if it does release in 2025.
Aha.
Like,
Which involves the segue into the next thing that they announced. They announced this earlier. So they're going to they also announced Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming to PC, along with The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered coming to PC.
hell yeah.
And those are the
Honestly,
last two things.
I hate Sony. I hate that they I hate that they delay this shit to PC for so long. I mean, I get it because Microsoft is your direct competitor and they have Xbox and PC, but like that shit's so lame to me. I mean, I get it. It's stupid.
A statement. We talked about this on the last one, I think. A statement from the PlayStation heads was they are purposely doing that. Like they're releasing God of War 1 on PC a year later. So PC players play God of War. And then they, of course, they wait 4 years to release the sequel to God of War Ragnarok. And then they wait a year for that to release on PC. So hopefully within that time frame, those PC players purchase a PlayStation 5. Like they actually
You see
said
this
that.
PlayStation behind me?
Yeah.
This is not mine. This is Isaac's. He bought this to play God of War.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't take it with him?
No, because he doesn't play it.
What
Oh.
happens when the next God of War comes out in 6 years?
He legit, Christina like begged him to take it, and he was like, "No, I'm not going to play it. It's going to go sit in the basement. It's not going to get played." Like
Yeah.
I have played it more than he has.
Yeah, that is. I mean, that
Hell yeah.
really is.
I'm just
shitty
saying to that's not like a knock on him or anyone else. I'm just saying like they're
Others
not
are
wrong.
Yeah, this is more of a knock on
People literally
Sony.
buy systems to play the game.
Yeah, that's we have an example right there. I bought a PlayStation 5 because I wanted to play The Last of Us and Uncharted and God of War and all their games. At the time when I bought, I think when we got you helped obviously, Daniel, as a gift, but I don't
What?
think like the
What'd I do?
PlayStation 5. When
Did
the
I?
PlayStation, yeah, for a Godfather gift.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I remember that now.
Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
whole like before, like when the PlayStation 5 was released, I don't think that announcement came out that they were going to be on PC. Like I think that was before they started to put games on PC. Which even then, I'm someone that wants to play a game right away, so I wouldn't want to wait a year or 2 years for it to get on PC anyways. But yeah, man, that is shitty. But dude, okay,
I mean, they do the same shit with even PC games in general, anyways. Not necessarily Sony, but I mean, game companies on PC do it too. Like fucking Borderlands 3 was only on Epic Games for 6 months or 9 months before it released on Steam. Like it happens with multiple other games and studios. It's stupid. I mean, I don't think any consumer, with the exception of Pirate Software, thinks that like exclusivity clauses with games or like time locks are good.
Yeah.
He gave a reason why it's good, and I can't remember why.
I guess I will transition that back going back to Naughty Dog about the wokeness of all of these games that are releasing. And I'm gonna so every there are, to me it was like 50-50. I don't know if you were reading the comments, Brett, but there were so many people that were like, oh my god, is that Lev from The Last of Us 2 whenever they were playing the Intergalactic trailer, because it was like an Asian woman with a shaved head, and they're like, oh my god, how many times can they use the same character, because they had an Asian female character in The Last of Us 2 with a shaved head. So they're like, yeah, how many times can the same game company use the same character? But like, and then people were getting mad because there were so many freaking female characters. But I was sitting next to Lena, who we all know is not really a gamer. And she's like, man, she was watching the Witcher 4 trailer and she's like, wow, this is kind of badass. Like there's a lot of female protagonists that they're making really cool. And she even said, like, as a female gamer, or not a gamer, but as a female who is already intimidated by the gaming space, because it's pretty much all guys still. She's like, it's just cool that as a girl, I can go on these games and feel like a badass playing a female character rather than playing a male character for the 400th time.
Mm-hmm.
So she thought, like, and I was like, damn, that's actually true. It's like people want to call every game woke, but it's like they're also like, they're not also trying to target the exact same person every single game that they release. And I don't know.
It's just
It's so weird.
Oh God, I don't want to get into politics or anything like that, but that's just how people are nowadays.
Yeah, people are stupid.
Yeah, people are real dumb.
If you think wokeness in games, female main characters is bad, you're stupid.
Dude, it's so insane. Like I don't understand it. If it's a good game, who gives a shit?
I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe they like the idea of
they do, dude. Men can do it better.
If that game character was the man, they could jump way higher.
They're the anti if you can do it, I can do it better commercial.
See how she only did 10% damage? If that was a male character, he would have done 20.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that
if they make her stronger,
it's a video game. Who gives a shit? Like, who cares? Who cares who the main character is? Who cares? Why does it matter?
Right. And with that Intergalactic trailer, people were also bitching about the product placement because they showed Adidas and a Porsche jet. But to me, that sounds like a sponsored thing. But to me, like,
that's amazing.
If you have played Naughty Dog games, their attention to detail is so high.
Well, it's definitely product placement, though. It's not attention to. They cannot use that brand without getting money in some way,
or paying for it.
Right.
But like, to me, like, if you are, because I used to watch a lot of like, or I just love the like 90 and 80s synthwave retro movies that did that same kind of thing. Like the main character in those movies was cool because he had the pair of Adidas on and like that really cool red jacket. And that character kind of made the movie a little bit. And it seemed like in the trailer, that's what they were kind of going for. Obviously, they're probably getting paid for those brands. But to me, that's the way that they were doing it, knowing how Naughty Dog makes their games. It wasn't like they flashed off the character a little bit, but it wasn't like Death Stranding 1 where Norman Reedus only drinks Monster Energy cans and shows the camera. Like that to me is like, they didn't do it that way. To me, it felt like a retro synthwave cyberpunk kind of a movie, Blade Runner kind of a situation where they're just like trying to make the character cool.
As somebody that is not excited for games most of the time, when I watched that trailer, I didn't analyze it. I didn't even notice that whoever the sponsors were on that screen. I was just looking at the gameplay and how crisp it looked and how the graphics and how it looked. I thought it looked great. And the reason why I'm not excited for newer games is because the last time I did that, I was sorely disappointed. So that will never happen again.
Wait, what was the last game that you played that was new?
The last game that I was excited to play was Anthem.
Oh my God, that was like 8 years ago, Brett.
Yeah, bro, fucking get over it.
Nope. I will never get over it, dude.
That was
the last time my hopes were up.
There has
also, so Anthem wasn't a bad game.
I mean,
it just
is it still existing?
It just didn't have any it's the same problem that New World had. It's the same problem that Destiny 2 release had. Like, there's just no content. Like, they released a game with like essentially it not finished, and I think like can be okay as long as they plan on doing content releases within the next couple of weeks or whatever else. Because I think the excuse that studios give where it's like, oh, we didn't know how popular our game was going to be, I think that's stupid. That's a dumb excuse. If people are excited for your game, even no matter what game you're releasing, someone's taking off work to play it. Someone is going to dedicate at least 8 hours a day to playing your game. If they can get through all of the content within the first weekend, and they're stuck there for the next 3 to 6 months doing nothing, I think that's bad. You probably should plan for that. And I'm not a game studio. I don't, I'm not a game developer. Well, I don't develop things that are released, at least. Like, I think it's silly. But that being said, I played Anthem before they shut it down, and like, it was fun. It would have been way more fun if it had all the content that it had whenever it shut down initially.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess another multiplayer game that I was kind of looking forward to was Concord, and that game
True.
That was dive really fast as well. And that
I
was
played the beta, and I was it felt like the most generic shooter type of game I've ever played. Like, there was literally nothing special about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think there's still going to be a secret level episode dedicated to that?
I think there is. I imagine they already filmed it and everything.
They already like launched it.
Well, like I mean, from what I heard, like the studios, like the studio CEO that pushed it, like, because Sony published it, right? Mm-hmm. But they didn't develop it. The developer CEO or whatever, apparently it was like his like fucking love child. Like, he was genuinely so proud and so excited for this game. And like, it sucks. I mean, he's a CEO, so like, whatever, you're rich. But like, I mean, assuming he's rich, because I don't know how big that studio is, but like, kind of whatever. But the fact that it flopped as hard as it did, I feel bad. That's what I'm getting at. I feel bad that it flopped that hard, that quick.
Yeah, because I mean, it seemed like Concord was trying to go down the Valorant route, where it wasn't just a multiplayer game. There was kind of like a little bit of lore behind it that they could have expanded to other things. Like, the Valorant cutscenes, I think, are one of the coolest cutscenes in gaming.
Dude,
like,
reminded me of Brink. You remember that game?
I remember playing it for an hour and being like, "What the hell is this? Why am I like?" Just like,
that's like a real like story lore driven first person shooter type game, or third person. I don't remember what one it was, but it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. Oh man, but.
Yeah, overall, kind of an underwhelming. I mean, there's some cool games, but kind of an underwhelming Game Awards. There was one last thing I kind of forgot, because I knew it wasn't listed. So Fragpunk actually has a release date, which is cool. March 6th.
Oh yeah, it's March, right? Yeah,
March 6th.
Nice.
So that'll be fine.
I hope they reverted whatever the hell they changed between the last beta and the beta before. I hope they reverted that. The gunplay felt like shit in the most recent one.
Yeah.
Oh,
same problem I think Spectre Divide has, where they try to do too much, and the game does not feel good to shoot in, doesn't feel good to move in.
Shout out!
Actually, I think the movement's actually it's better now. They made like Valorant movement where you can like air strafe and stuff. But
yeah. Oh, there you go. Heck yeah.
Yeah, that still feels like shit.
That's pretty much all of my topics. Went through all of them.
Nice.
Yeah. You guys got anything you want to talk about?
I was going to say one more like comment about the games that were announced. So The Witcher. One thing I also noticed, which made me like, so the comments were bitching about the way that the female character looks in The Witcher 4. They were literally saying in the comments, "Why did they make her ugly?" And I was like, what the hell? Like, what a weird comment. And they were asking, why does she not look as good as she did in the third one? And it's like, number one, Witcher 3 came out like 13 years ago. So there's of course going to be better, highly detailed graphics 13 years down the line. And it's also, I don't even know how old she was in the third game, but it's years past that as well. So she's like gotten older and her face just looks more mature.
Yeah, but it's just like, old people are ugly.
They just just like going through in the entire, and it's not just gaming, obviously, but just going through and looking at the comments. It's like, dude, there are waves of people that were bitching about every single game.
People start to complain, dude.
Like, dude, it's so
That's
crazy
so-
to me. Like,
Yeah, I think people watch the Game Awards for the like game announcements, and if they don't see
Oh,
what they
for
want to
sure.
see, they are just gonna rag all over it. That's their whole purpose.
Just fucking grow up, dude. Like, I'm just like me. I'm a fan of the industry. I think
Yeah.
new games is a good thing. I think new IPs is a good thing. Sequels are a good thing. Like, I think more games is good, and that's what I'm excited for. Like, I think any game can be good. Fucking Balatro has crazy amount of players, and it's a gambling simulator. Like, there's just like random shit. I mean, it's not really, but I'm just saying, like, like anything can turn into a massive success. Anything can be fun, and it's like, I don't know, make games. If you're listening to this, make games. Game Maker is free. Unity, don't use Unity. Unreal Engine is free. Unreal 5 is like very user friendly. Watch YouTube.
Yeah, man.
Make a
games
game.
great again.
I will say after
Don't say anything. Make X great again. I don't want. No, well, that's a fucking website, so I can't even say that. Make insert name great again. I don't want to hear that shit.
Wait, why?
let's get into that. Hey, have you guys seen all these drones in New Jersey?
I have not.
You haven't seen that story?
I've seen it.
Okay, I won't get into it then.
No, don't go into it.
That
You
could
can
be
look it
another
up.
hour. I can't believe you haven't seen it.
So, we talking about it's like windmills being bird cemeteries or something, or
No.
Windmills are bird cemeteries?
Yes.
according to our
Fearless leader.
new leader.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I remember that conversation.
They also cause cancer. 5G's killing the bees.
Windmills, they are killing billions and billions of birds a day.
Inject bleach. Sorry.
guys, please. We're becoming unhinged.
Okay, thanks everybody. Anything else?
I guess I was gonna ask what games you guys have been playing lately.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we kind of always say that because our episodes are so far spaced out.
Spaced out. I know that guy.
And it's his legal name.
I've been actually playing, I played 3 indie games recently. Mouthwashing, which is actually very, very
I've
good.
heard. I heard. Really, there you go, dude. That's a game, indie game. People didn't think it was gonna be big, or that I'm sure that developer didn't think it'd blow up.
Massive.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Mouth washing.
Yep. Check it
What?
out. You have it because he has it, because we're on a Steam family.
Is it like a dentist kind of thing, or is it just like you just have an open mouth?
It's a
and you
very
just
misleading
clean it?
title. I'll tell
It
you
is.
That
It is-
sounds weird. I'm gonna look it in or look it up.
It's only like 2 hours. So play it. It's so good. It's actually one of the first indie games that I have played, and probably, I mean, besides like Inside, which is of course a top indie game, but it's like one of the first ones I played in a very, very long time. So good. I also played To the Moon, which was a pretty cool game. If you've played that, or have you even heard of it? It's like a game where you play as 2 characters where they go and meet people that are dying, and they help fulfill their last wish by going back in time and like reverting all of their memories and making them think that they went to do something before they die.
Interesting.
But it's like, that game's like 4 hours. That's really good. And then I also played Somerville.
I
which is
started
pretty
your
good.
YouTube video on that one.
It's good.
I got like 5 minutes
good
into your
game.
video, and then my daughter took over my life.
that happens. And then I am playing Lena. She's trying so hard to be a gamer, but she knows, like, she just knows. She's like, yeah, I'm just not going to be able to play through like AAA games. She knows she's not going to be able to. So she loves the story of The Last of Us, and she's watched me play the first one a couple times. So now we're like going through I am going through the second one as she watches. That's about it.
Dude, respect to her for wanting to get into it. I like that.
She's trying. She tried to play The Last of Us 1, like everything auto locked on, easiest difficulty. You pull down the aim button and it goes straight to someone 1,000 yards away. But even then, it's too difficult for her to play.
Dude, I just looked up. I watched the trailer for Mouthwashing.
Yeah.
Bro, what is this game?
You have to. It's so good.
I just okay. Yeah, it's a game. It looks so weird.
There's actually someone on YouTube. He produces probably the best playthrough content or like gaming content I have ever seen. His name is Beam Buddy, BEMBUDDY. If you've ever heard of him, he's done a mouthwashing video, and dude, this is like I think he has 1, 2, 3, 4. He has 6 videos, and he got 187,000 subscribers, and each one of them has. His first video ever has 1.7 million views. His second video has 1.3, 2.1 million. And he makes a video like every 2 to 5 months. But these, like, they're so highly detailed and edited. They're so well put together.
Interesting.
Like his mouthwashing one is actually why I played the game. He either has friends or he hired someone, or maybe it's AI. So the game has dialogue, but it's all chat dialogue. But he actually had people come in and read those lines. And each character is different. Like each person that reads it is someone completely different.
That's sick.
It's crazy. And what he does is he'll go through like an 8-hour game and then shrink it down to 2.5 hours, like he did for Soma. But then he'll like play through and explain what is happening in the game rather than just like doing typical commentating. It's so like, it probably does take 4 months to make a video the way that he does it. It's so good.
Interesting.
So
his name was what? Beam Buddy?
Beam Buddy. BEAMBUDDY. Shout out, because that dude deserves it.
Interesting.
So good. And it's like really, really high level editing as well. If I had the time, these are the kind of videos
that's coming from a video editor, graphic designer who does this for a living too.
Nothing compared to this guy. He's insane. He has to have a team. That's how highly edited these videos are, but in a good way. They're not over edited.
What games are you playing, Brett?
Just mostly multiplayer games. Like I've been playing a lot of TFT, League of Legends, obviously. Been playing Valorant here and there. There's a new game out called.
Brothers named 3 Riot Games.
Yeah, there's a new game called Supervive that I've been playing quite a bit. There's another new game called
made by ex League of Legends developers.
Is it really? Yeah. That's hilarious. I see you guys play that all the time.
It's fun. There's another game called Marvel Rivals, which is like a hero shooter, like Overwatch kind of game. If you need some sort of a like example. It's pretty fun. It's got all Marvel characters.
Understand what that game was. So there was, man, is there a game on my phone? No, is there like
a Marvel Snap?
That's why I kept getting those games confused. I'm like, why is Marvel Rivals so big? Isn't it just a mobile game? Like, why is everyone playing it?
Well, Marvel Snap is also massive. It's probably one of the best mobile games out there, to be honest.
It's fun. Oh, that was kind of another thing that came out during Game Awards. There's a beta for Google Play games. You can play mobile games on your PC without having a third party.
That's pretty cool.
Which I thought was so sick. So I downloaded it. I've been using it.
Nice.
Pretty neat. It's a little buggy, but it works.
Anyone playing any single player games?
No, bitch. Well, let me open up my let me look at my history on Steam here.
Are you pulling up your bot that you have?
No, all that has is Supervive and Marvel Rivals. Yeah, so I've been playing Marvel Rivals Supervive.
Wow.
TCG Card Shop Simulator. Hitman. I participated in the Hitman speedrun competition that happened recently. Atriox speedrun competition. I placed top like 25. So out of 600 or I think it was 600 or 900 submission.
Very nice.
Pretty pumped about that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And Valorant, of course, but I will probably play that for the rest of my life.
Wait, is Brett part of our Steam family share thing?
Yeah, I see all the games.
Brett, you have no.
I told him.
You have no excuse now.
That's what I told him. I said, "You have it. It's in because we're Steam families.
Don't never have to pay for a game again, Brett."
I don't know about that.
He's like,
there are
the time.
No,
I don't have the time.
I actually won't have time after Christmas, but after that, I should have.
You got 11 days, Brett. Until then, you can do a lot. You can beat a lot.
Xbox controller support. Get it on fucking Steam Deck. I'll let you borrow mine.
I'm debating actually playing these games in order.
Which games?
All the Steam games that are now
in order. There's 700 of them.
Yeah, dude. So,
bro, I can't get you on to play Marvel Rivals. There ain't no way you're playing through 700 of these games.
Well, I'm assuming most of these are like multiplayer, or a lot of these are multiplayer, so it won't matter.
And you probably played a good amount of them.
Me, probably not Brett. Brett can probably.
Well, like a lot of those, 20 of those are Call of Duties.
Yeah, there's like 12 of them that are Star Wars.
Oh yeah, that's me. I bought them all.
Actually, 12. Yeah. Maybe I'll play Starfield too. Oh, that's not on here.
Yeah, I've hard refunded that game. I typed such a message into my refund request that even with 25 hours in the game, they refunded it to me.
Silent Hill 2, Until Dawn.
Yeah,
Ooh, Until Dawn's good.
Both Hitmans are on here.
There's 3 Hitmans.
Mouthwashing. There's so many.
Oh.
Hitman World of Assassination is technically Hitman 3. So the Hitman games are weird. It's like each game is technically like a season of the game. So 1, 2, and 3 are all tied together. They're all built in the same engine. It's kind of like Call of Duty Hub, where it's like if you open Hitman 3, you can play Hitman 1 and Hitman 2 maps if you own them. But I think you should because I own all of them. So I recommend Hitman. Hitman's sick as fuck.
Oh, and we got Mafia 2.
Should have all the Mafias.
I only see. Oh wait, these are not in alphabetical order.
So Tyler, what games have you been playing?
I named them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, way to pay attention.
Somerville, To the Moon, Mouthwashing.
All the indie games.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, you said mouthwashing, so I looked it up while you were talking, and it
Dick
stunlocked me. Hey man, I was stunlocked by mouthwashing.
You can recommend.
It has a 10 out of 10 review on Steam.
So
I had to see why.
Yeah, overwhelmingly positive.
I had to see why. It was it's a perfect score. I don't get why.
If you haven't played God of War, you can at least give it a shot on PC, at least for an hour. It's so good.
That's true.
I'm sure Isaac will lose his shit if you stream that.
Yeah, I actually bought that game.
Oh, dude, Little Nightmares 3?
Oh yeah, that's coming out. That's right. Oh wait, do we want to wrap up the pod and then we can continue to talk about games?
Yeah, but you could probably cut out half of this, like the last 10 minutes, to be honest.
Maybe the 20. Okay, goodbye everybody.
Thanks for listening / watching.
Goodbye. Thanks.
Leave a 5-star review.
Vote on YouTube. Swipe up on Spotify. Leave a comment.
This is such a hard stop. Just peace out. Goodbye.